give it a couple more seconds. As everyone can clearly see, the reprieve, the daily stay of execution for the beard has happened again. So we've made it one more Friday wrap up with this. We'll see if it survives Tuesday. I think we're now going video to video is the polls that we're monitoring for progress. So I'll go ahead and get started. It's Friday. We're going to keep it light and fun. Once again, green. That's great. I think the point I wanted to bring up today and talk through, which is sort of been on my mind, I would say, for the last couple of days. Obviously, the market's been solid this week. I think it's safe to say that many of our clients have had a rather peaceful and enjoyable week relative to some over the last couple months, for sure. Maybe not the last 6 weeks, but brought to mind that as I looked at the headlines this morning, and I was thinking to myself, okay, if the beginning of February somebody were to have tapped me on the shoulder and said, there's a pandemic that's going to close American business for, I think we've been shelter in place since the middle of March. So here we are the 8th of May. So what is that, 7 weeks? And many states are going to be closed, and tons of businesses, leisure and hospitality and restaurants are closed. This is happening. So pick a level that the stock market will trade at, given that great intelligence. Almost certainly, the number I would have chosen would have been lower than the numbers that we're seeing today. So I think it's safe to say that guessing the direction of the stock market, even if you know what the headlines are going to be, is fruitless. And you should all be comforted to know, I mean, some of you will know that our second largest strategy at Mirador is actually positive for 2020 now. I wouldn't have expected that. If I looked at the headlines from this morning, I wouldn't have expected the market to be up today. So the point is, it isn't guessing the direction of the stock market that matters. It's not. It's a process. It's a philosophy. It's having outs. So the criticism that actually no one has directly brought up, but I would imagine is on people's minds, I bring it up a lot, which is, okay, so why wouldn't you, given the fact that the screen has been more green and things seem to be settling down, the market appears to be looking through the current tragic job losses that we're being bombarded with into the future. So why not take off the defense and enjoy the ride, enjoy the party? Well, the answer to that question is always the same, which is we will let the fundamentals decide when to ease up on the brake. So as we are currently living through, the earnings estimates for the S&P 500 are still in free fall. The fundamentals are still eroding on a contemporaneous basis at a gigantically terrifying level. So until that stabilizes and we can start to look at fundamentals improving, it isn't rational to me to continue to get longer an asset that relies on the fundamental earnings power of the companies within it for long-term success. So that is the short way of saying pleasant, surprising, but I still will believe that fundamentals have to be respected in the long term, and that our philosophy will be driven by fundamentals more than the emotion of the moment, right? And I think that it was easy to get swept up in the emotion of the moment and make drastic changes. And I will say we did make significant and proactive changes to expand the number of outs, because I'm admitting no one knows, right? It could have gone the other way, and it didn't. So I'm glad that the steps that we took are easily adjusted, and if this in fact turns into some kind of a great unexpected recovery, fundamental recovery, then the greatest criticism that we would be guilty of is we could have made more money if we had been, if we had guessed somehow different and right. I don't think that anybody wants to place their financial future in the hands of anybody guessing. It shouldn't have to be a guessing game. It should be a process-driven grind of a long haul slog that balances risks and rewards, and ultimately is going to reward people who can hang in there through good and bad times. So that is what we will continue to do, and it's the philosophy. It has been the same for a long time, and it will be the same for a long time. But I leave you on this happy note for this Friday. It's a beautiful day. I want to thank and say hello to all the mothers out there. Hope you guys all have a wonderful Sunday. Talk about the Mothers 2-month Super Bowl, right? All the moms out there have been forced to adapt and provide entertainment and education and culinary delights to the whole crew, and you guys, I know, have all risen to the occasion. Certainly I can speak for my wife, who has, as the mother of my kids, and my mom, who lives close by, and is doing a great job of adapting to everything going on. So happy Mother's Day to everybody. Thank you all for everything. Thanks as always to the Mirador team. We would be nothing without you, our clients, and we appreciate you, and so we will talk to you next Tuesday.